Hi guys, long time no see. How have you guys been? I hope you've been good. I am officially back on YouTube. I haven't posted like a proper YouTube video. The only videos that have been up on this channel are edits of streams. I think the one video that I did post was the GSHADE tutorial, but other than that, I haven't actually posted any videos to this channel in literally months. I am going to be back from this moment forward. I have a bunch of videos planned for you guys. I have a bunch of mods videos, CC videos, some Sims series, some one-off videos. I'm going to have my mum and my boyfriend on my channel. I have loads of exciting things planned for this channel for the future. And of course, I'm still going to be streaming. I'm still going to be streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, as I always do. And now that I'm back, I'm going to be kicking it off old school style with the first video to like celebrate me being back, which is going to be covering a few mods that I personally love for gameplay and for realism. Of course, all the links, as always, will be in the description of this video. So if you want to go ahead and check any of the mods out, I'll include all the links to those. So you can go ahead and download them. Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the collection. I'm going to show you guys all the mods, and then I'm also going to show you all the features in game as well. So it's going to be really fun, and I hope you guys enjoy all of them. So up first on our list is the Smart Sim Randomiser by Andiers. Pretty much what this mod does is it gives your Sims between 1 and 2 dislikes per category of likes and dislikes. The categories are like characteristics, colors, fashion, decor, and also if you have Cutto's mod, it's Cutto's pizza preferences mod, it'll also give your Sim 2 likes and 2 dislikes for their favorite pizzas. And when your Sim eats the pizza that they don't like, they'll get a bad mood look from that. One thing that is really cool about this mod is it's not just a random likes and dislikes, it's also a probability depending on other characteristics of your Sims, such as their traits. If a Sim doesn't like to cook, they probably won't like to bake either. And a Sim that doesn't like DJ music most likely won't like DJ mixing either. Now, one of the really cool features of this mod is the hidden trait preferences. Every Sim in game normally gets a like for their favorite movie genre, or Sims automatically get randomized with left-handed or right-handed. The mod will also randomize character values on your Sims that are between young adults to elders. So normally in a default game, if you have the Parenthood pack, unless you've played with a Sim from child through to young adult, they won't get any character values. But what's really cool about this one is it'll automatically give your Sims character values. This mod also allows for you to be able to change all of these yourself. So if you don't like the likes and dislikes that you were given, you can also go ahead and change those. Sometimes Sims will randomly get generated a university degree. They'll also get generated a bunch of random skills as well. Now, personally, I feel like this mod is such a must-have. It actually makes each Sim feel unique. You know, in real life, you don't get to choose what your likes and dislikes are, and that's kind of the way that I prefer to have it with my Sims as well. This mod just generally saves you a lot of time for when you're, you know, adding Sims into your save, because all these Sims now get generated likes and dislikes, which is great. Up next is the Golden Years mod by AD Pindigo, and this is a huge mod that completely overhauls elders in The Sims 4. So one of the things that this mod introduces is hobbies and recreation. So elders now have 18 different hobbies and recreational activities that they can do either alone or with others in their household. They'll be able to learn skills whilst they're away, you know, doing these hobbies or recreational things. If your Sim goes to an antiquing group, they might be able to bring home an antique that they found as well. So when your Sims gets back, they'll get like a moodlet and a little notification to say how well the class went, or, you know, whether they enjoyed it. One thing to bear in mind with these are they are rabbit holes, so your Sims do go off and go there alone. However, it's kind of nice to know that whilst you're playing with your other Sims, the elders aren't just sitting there and like waiting to die, which sounds really morbid when I say it like that, but you know what I mean. Like, normally your elders, if you're playing with the young adults or like the younger Sims, the elders kind of just get left out a little bit. So it's nice that they'll get to go and do something themselves. This mod also includes 6 new elder aspirations. They are short and they're supposed to be achievable in like an elder lifespan, because obviously, you know, when your Sim becomes an elder, it's basically the end of their lifespan. They haven't really got that much time left. So it's kind of like their last final wants that they would want for the rest of their life, which I think is kind of sweet. One really cool thing about this mod is estate planning. So Sims can now get their affairs in order. They can explore estate planning options. They can also sign up for life insurance and name their beneficiaries. So all of these features can be done via the phone, or they can also be done on a computer as well. There's a bunch of different life insurance options. One is like the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum life insurance. Each obviously costs a different amount. They gradually get more expensive as you go through to the platinum, but it does mean that your beneficiaries will be offered a one-time payment of up to 250,000. So pretty much that means that when your Sim dies, they can choose who they want their beneficiaries to be. It can be their children or, you know, whoever it is. They will then be able to go and claim that money after that person dies. So it might be that you want to set up your Sims children to be their beneficiaries so that they will be able to claim a bunch of money when they pass away and at least be able to do something really nice and have a nice home. So another thing included with this mod is the Senior Activity Center, which is actually a whole new venue that you can place down into your world. Here, Sims can meet new Sims, they can play games, work out, paint, mentor, and be mentored. And if you send your Sims to the rabbit hole version, they can spend their time doing different things with each visit. They can sometimes take a spin class, other times they might sit on an archaeology lecture, and they'll actually come back with different moodlets depending on what they did, and also whether they actually enjoyed the particular thing that they were doing on that day. So it's kind of nice for when you want your seniors to go and do something quite fun. You know, if you send them to the rabbit hole, you don't have to play as them, but you might also want to place down an actual lot on your Sims world, and then you can go with them and you can do all these nice things with them. Your Sims can also volunteer for certain careers, so they'll be able to check what volunteer jobs are available. You can scroll through and there's a bunch of different options, and your Sims can show up and, you know, volunteer to do whatever it is that they've signed up for. This will obviously be, you know, not paid work, but at least it's something for your Sims to get out and do. And one of the other really cool things that this mod includes is senior care and living options. So now your Sims can go into independent living, they can also have assisted living, they can even get a residential caregiver or home care, so someone will actually come into their home to help them out. And you can also send your Sims off to a residential care home as well, i.e. like a nursing home. So depending on which option you select will depend if your elder actually leaves the household or if they stay with your household. If you end up selecting, for example, the independent retirement community, you'll then have to go and apply the lot trait onto a random lot, and that will then allow your Sim and your elders to be able to move onto that lot, and it'll almost work as a little retirement home, which I think is really cute, because then that way you can still have your Sims go and visit them. What is really cool is that your elders can now go on a cruise, but you get to choose on what type of cruise line you want them to go on. You can also choose the length of their stay as well, and all of these will total into the total cost of the cruise. The cruise leaves within 48 hours after being booked, so you have to make sure that you go back onto your Sims and then select to go on the cruise. I think it's really nice to send your Sims away depending on how long you want them to be away, and just for them to go and enjoy themselves. You can imagine that they're sailing around all the other worlds, which I think is really sweet as well. Okay, so this mod, I feel like it's such an underrated mod. It's called the Errant Thoughts mod by AD Pindigo. What it does is it allows for your Sims to have opportunities where they can either rethink their life choices or make changes on a whim. So just randomly, your Sims will get thoughts on what they want to do. It might be that they want to go on a vacation. It might be that they want to move. It might be that they want a new relationship. It might be that they want to break up. So you don't actually have to fulfill this if you don't want to. Say, for example, you really like your Sims together and you don't want them to break up and you don't want their Sim to get into a new relationship. You don't have to. Sometimes they'll get the moodlet where they actually regret not doing it. Sometimes they might also be relieved that they didn't act on impulse, but it's random every single time that your Sim gets this errant thought, which I think is really cool, because it's like your Sim telling you that they want to do something. I like things like that, you know. I don't like deciding everything for my Sims. I like when they tell me sometimes what they want. So the next mod is kind of a small mod, but in my personal opinion is like a must-have. It's called the Quick Shower and Quick Bath mod, and it's by Little Miss Sam. What this then does is allows your Sims to take a quick shower or a quick bath. The hygiene motive will fill up way faster than what it would normally, so your Sims don't need to take anywhere near as much time to shower. Why the hell are our Sims taking over 2 hours per shower? I mean, I get that. Sometimes you do want to just chill in the shower, but when they've got to get up to go to work, I can't be having that. One other really, really cool thing is an optional add-on that you can choose to install when you download this mod, which will be that your Sims will either change into a towel after their shower or bath, or they won't. I personally don't have the add-on installed. If you install the add-on, your Sims won't change into the towel. If you don't install it, they will be in the towel. I mean, who the hell gets out the shower and immediately gets into their clothes? Because you get shower sweats, and shower sweats are not fun, and I don't want that for my Sims either. So the tower is a must-have. So the next mod on our list is the Talents and Weaknesses mod by Lumpinu, and Lumpinu is one of my favorite mod creators, along with AD Pindigo. Both of them are absolutely amazing, very, very talented. This mod in particular will add talents and weaknesses, as you can imagine, for each of your Sims. If you then go into your traits panel on your Sims, you'll be able to see that they have natural talents in certain skills. So for example, they might have a natural talent in fitness. It will mean that their fitness skill will go up quicker than the average Sim. they will also have things that they're not quite good at. For example, acting. It might mean that, you know, they're not so good at acting, so their acting skill will actually go up slower than the average sim. I don't think these are completely random. I think they also are impacted by your sim's skills, their traits, and their aspiration, but I can't be quoted on that. I've just found that with playing with it for a really long time. If you go ahead and click on a sim and then go into the actions tab, in here you have the talents, weaknesses, and blocked skills. You'll be able to then add custom talents and weaknesses and also remove the current ones that are already applied. So if you don't like the ones that are randomized, or maybe you're playing a legacy challenge and you've got goals to work on and they're too hard, you can also go in and change these if you would like. But I personally like the idea that the mod randomizes it for me, and I'm kind of stuck with whatever it gives me. So this next mod is probably one of the coolest mods that I've tried out. This mod is called the Go to School mod by Zerbu. Works in the same way that High School Years does with your children, where you can send your children to elementary school. So there's even a custom lot type that you'll have to select called elementary school, which will have certain requirements for it. You can either download one from the gallery or you can build one yourself. You need to make sure that you've got the objects there, otherwise your sims won't be able to complete all the goals that they've got in mind. So each day there is a different subject, so depending on what day it is, Monday is for problem solving, Tuesday health and fitness, Wednesday is for creative arts, Thursday is for environment and culture. What's really cool about this is also dependent on your sim's likes and dislikes. So if your child likes fitness, on Tuesday specifically, they'll be a lot happier. They'll have happy moodlets during the subjects that they like. So the way that it works is that there is one normal class, and that works exactly the same as High School Years, where your sims actually go and they get taught in a classroom with a teacher. And then in the afternoon, your sims will receive goals based on what you need them to perform. So it works very similarly to High School Years, and also Get to Work if you played the active careers, where up in the top left, you've got different goals to complete. And as long as you complete those will depend on how well your child does in school. And obviously if they manage to get to a gold event, if they do really well in school that day, then their performance will go up. What I personally really like about this as well is your kids actually build skills while they're at school. If your child goes in on Wednesday and they're studying creative arts, during that class your child will be building their creativity skill. You can also change the number of students that are going to show up to the elementary school by going to the mailbox and clicking the go to school settings, and you can change that number and depending on how many seats you've got in each classroom. You also randomly have different days that can happen while your sims are at school. For example, they can go on field trips where they actually get sent to different lots. Some of the field trips that I've had happen are my sims are going to go to the science lab, and my kids actually get sent to the science lab that comes with Get to Work, and they get to have a whole field trip. They've got specific goals around that, which I think is so cool. Like, that is just so fun. This mod is also compatible with Growing Together, where there's custom milestones for each class, for each time that your sim goes there, as well as every instance of like going on a field trip or having a guest speaker. So each one will give your sim a milestone, which I think is really nice for when they grow up. Now, every Wednesday is a costume day, and all the students will also show up wearing costumes, which is so cute. There's actually a school council that will be walking around the school as well, where you can have your kids perform like unique interactions with them, and they'll get good moodlets, and your kids will be able to like boost their mood off of talking to their counselor. So all in all, this mod is so good. It's so developed. I was just shocked when I played with it. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, and I was expecting it to be buggy. It's not. Like, I've never really had any issues with this mod. I think I've had more issues with High School Years than I have with this mod, which is saying something, right? Just to know, if you are going to use this mod, you do need to have High School Years installed. You also need to have the Go to School mod installed, and you also need the Venue Changes mod, or you can also use Base Mental's Universal file as well. Any Venue Changes mod will work. So this next mod is one of those mods that you don't know that you needed, but I'm telling you now, you need it, okay? So this mod is called the Spawn and Refresh mod by Zerbu, and it completely overhauls how spawning works in The Sims 4 and allows for fully staffed multi-purpose lots. This will work if you place multiple different items on one lot. So for example, if you place gym equipment down on the lot, it will place a bunch of Sims who like to work out. So it will mean that if you have multiple different lots working next to each other, Sims will actually show up and use those items, which is great. You know, you want your Sim to go and get food from a stall on a recreation center. You won't be forced to pay 100 simoleons to hire someone to work at that store, which really bothers me, because why is my Sim going to a lot and then having to pay for a vendor to staff it when they should already be there? So this mod, in my opinion, is a must-have. The next mod is a really fun mod called Home Regions by Cutto. Now this mod goes into a lot of depth, but you don't have to use it in so much depth. It automatically comes set up for you, so you don't have to play around with any of the settings. However, I do recommend you do play play around with some of the settings, otherwise it doesn't work as well. This mod will make it so that only residents of that world will show up at those venues. For example, in Willow Creek, only Willow Creek residents will show up at Willow Creek venues. For me, in my game, I have each world set out to be an actual world in real life. As an example, I have Tortosa set up as Italy. I don't want to see Nina and Dina Caliente in Hawaii. It wouldn't make sense. They're supposed to be all the way over in America. I don't mind them coming over for, you know, a quick visit if they want to come over for a holiday, but they show up and they're there at every single venue, which to me just makes no sense. You know, I don't like it played out like that. So it may be the case where, for me, I have a bunch of townies that I go ahead and make, but there's not actually enough room for them in the world. But I want to imagine that they live in Italy, aka Tortosa. So I don't really want them showing up in Willow Creek or Oasis Springs or Newcrest or any of those. So if you go ahead and grab a sim and you can't be playing as them, but you need to, you know, play as a different household, but see them around the town walking, then you can go ahead and shift click on that sim, then allow you to click the interaction, move townie to, and this will allow you to move that townie to a specific world. Bear in mind, this won't work for any sim that's already living in a house, so they do need to be a homeless sim, but this will allow you to make any homeless sims technically living in that world, they just don't own a house. Some other really cool things that you get with this mod are smarter sim spawning. College parties won't be full of elders. Why is this a thing anyways? Like, I'm wondering why the elders are trying to hit it up with the 20-year-olds, but I don't know. Either way, it'll make it so that they're less often to spawn. One other really cool thing that this mod fixes, and I certainly noticed it before I installed this mod, is in an unmodded game, nearly all NPCs end up living in San Myshuno, Sulani, and Mount Komorebi. If you guys had that same issue, every single time I've made a new save, all of my sims end up living in those 3 worlds. I don't understand why, but this mod fixes it so that sims will generate across all worlds. So another thing that you can set up is regional filters, and this will allow you to have control over sims that you want to be able to travel to another world of their own. You might imagine that Willow Creek and Newcrest are technically the same world that are in travel distance, and maybe you want to be able to see the sims from Willow Creek in Newcrest. So you'll be able to set up a regional filter that will allow Willow Creek sims to be able to be seen in Newcrest. And actually by default in this mod, Magnolia Promenade will allow sims from Willow Creek and Newcrest. Another thing that you might need to use within this mod is the venue filters, which will allow you to control over how sims spawn on certain lot types. For example, you may want Copperdale to use local townies for the most part, but still want high school students to come from every world. You can set the venue to open, and that will bypass the regional filter rules. Another thing that you might need to know with this mod is the International Hub lot trait. This will be a lot trait that you can apply to any lot, and it will basically make it so that all filters and restrictions are inactive while your sims are there. So basically, any sims can turn up to that lot. There'll be no restrictions. So this next mod, it's called the Gradual Aging mod by Jane Simston, and pretty much this will allow your sims to gradually age. Your sim will start off looking like this as a regular elder, and then gradually they will start gaining, depending on how far they are into their life stage, 10%, 20% before they get to an elder where they'll look just like this. And what is even more cool about this is if you guys use skin details, which I personally do, I use a lot of skin overlays, this will work through those skin overlays. So your sim will be able to keep the skin that they have on, but they will gradually gain these wrinkles, which I'm not gonna lie, this is such a must-have mod. If you guys are exactly the same as me and you use skin details, you don't wanna have to give every one of your sims a makeover, but you do want them to look a little bit older. This will make it so that they gradually look older without you having to do anything, because this will just be a gradual process that happens. So the next mod on our list is actually one that I found recently. I really wish this was included in the game, and then after I did a little bit of research, I found out it is actually a mod, and I don't know how nobody's heard of it. It's called the Come Celebrate mod, and it's by Maple de Flap. And pretty much what this allows you to do is have NPCs host parties at any location. You can go into the calendar, or you can go into your phone and click the plan social event. There'll now be a bunch of new events in here which are called invitation and the name of the party. So depending on what packs you've got installed, you can depend on which ones you install. It will actually be free for your sim, which I think is great. So now you won't have to pay for any of these. Your sim is also not going to be the host. When you go ahead and click the host button, it'll go ahead and show any sims that are in the world. You'll then be able to scroll through and pick the sim that you want to host the party. You can hire a caterer, a mixologist, and an entertainer. Your sim won't have to pay for any of this because technically it's not their party and they are not the host. And then once you go ahead and want to throw the party, you'll have the option of throwing it at any residence of a sim who was invited either as the host or the guest, or any single lot that you want to throw it on. It can be a lounge, a pool, a vacation rental, a cafe, loads of different options. This will allow for your sims to be invited to a party instead of you having to plan the party yourself, which, let me tell you, we have needed for way too long. So next up on our list is the Billard Mod by Utopia CC, and this is basically a pool table mod. So this allows you to type in pool table in the build by menu and you'll be able to place down a pool table on any lot. I personally like doing it on bars and, you know, like pubs of what I imagine. So the interaction will cost you 10 simoleons per sim. Then you'll be able to have your sims select who they want to play with. You'll be able to select either an NPC or somebody that they know. And then your sims will be able to actually play pool. And the interactions are so cool. They are so developed. The interaction will also boost the social and fun needs of your sim. And it'll also increase the friendship bar between the two sims that are playing. Now, I was so surprised when I was seeing my sims play with this, how detailed this whole interaction was. I was so surprised with how in-depth they made it, but it is so fun to watch. And it's just something a little bit different, you know, instead of playing table tennis or Don't Wake the Llama, it's nice to have your sims play something a little bit different. And obviously all of these animations are custom and they're made by Utopia CC. So for me, this is definitely a must-have item that you need in your game. So the next mod is one of those mods that you don't know that you needed, but when I tell you about it, you're going to say you need it. So the mod is technically a lot trait and it's called Use Residential Rental Shared Areas as Community Lots. That is a mouthful. And it is made by Down in Simsland. And pretty much what this allows you to do is turn any residential rental shared area into a community lot. For example, in the world that come with the University Pack, Brightchester, I could definitely imagine some of the lots being made up of, you know, cafes or restaurants or bars that are down below and then having residential lots on top, which in the UK, because Brightchester is based on the UK, that is something that we do quite a lot. So if you're playing on a residential rental, you can then go into the lot challenges section and you'll now have 5 new traits. One of them is the Brewed Delights trait, and this will allow the lot to function as a cafe or a thrift shop if there's a bubble tea stand, and it'll be open from 8 until 8. There's also Meals on the Go, which will automatically hire stall vendors, which will hire up to 2 stalls, and or a cafeteria server using the university's cafeteria station. If you want to have your sims live above a restaurant or say next to a restaurant. There's also another lot trait called Drinking Spot, which will allow the lot to function as a bar if there is a bar in the shared space, and also will include karaoke, and it will also be open from 2 until 2. You've also got the Fun Zone, which will be a lot automatically that can bring in children and teenagers to enjoy the on-site facilities, which will include outdoor or indoor games. This would be really cool if you had a residential rental, like an apartment complex, with a park next to it or a park set up inside it. Or you want to set up an arcade, maybe with apartments on top or next to. You'll be able to use this lot trait and everything will completely work. And the other one is Curious Visitors, which this lot automatically brings in people to enjoy the on-site facilities from 9 AM until 9 PM and will automatically hire stall vendors for lunch and dinner. There's also a janitor NPC that is included in all of the lot traits except for the Fun Zone, and they will clean up any leftover glasses and plates at the end of the service. And just to bear in mind, this mod does require some expansion packs. You at the very least need For Rent, Get to Work, Get Together, University and High School years in order to use all these lot challenges and this mod as well, so just bear that in mind. For me, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I saw this mod and I realized how it worked, it has inspired me to make so many community lots, because I'm now realizing that I can turn almost any community lot into a residential rental, use the community lot section as the shared area, and then just make houses on top, which means I've got even more residential areas for my sims. Like, when would you not enjoy this? Like, this is just amazing. Like, it's such a cool mod. Honestly, this is like my favorite out of all of them, I think. Now, that is everything from me today. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed these mods that I have recommended. Hopefully you guys get on with them. Please let me know what you thought of them in the comment section below. Maybe you have any more to suggest. Loads and loads of videos coming covering all my mods and my CC. Since in my streams, they've been very, very highly requested. So don't worry, I've got many of those. And I've also got a bunch of other videos coming. But if you guys have any suggestions on any videos you would like to see from around me or any potential series that you would like to see me play out, also leave those in the comment section below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, remember to go ahead and leave it a like, subscribe down below if you are new, and I will see you guys all in my very next video. I love you guys. Bye.